Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check check check. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to the Daily Study Group. I got a little bit of a late start today, but we're gonna do it for an hour. I'm gonna go with some comp studies today. Kind of get back into that. And yeah, so if you've been joining us before, you know how we're doing this. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to go back into that same process. So anyway. Helix. 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 Huh? No, I was just... nothing. Oh, crap. I didn't actually say anything. Yeah, I was going to meet Carlton up yesterday. But I think he was busy. So I ended up just doing I did the study group at Spider House. And it gets super loud and awkward because people are going in and out and making a bunch of noise. At one point, people in the chat were just like, "Where are you? What are you doing? Why is it so loud where you are?" That was funny. We're just like, "Dude, why are you live streaming from a coffee house?" I was like, "Oh, because I want to." What do you mean, why? I just wanted to live stream from a coffee house. Because I want to not stay stuck at home all day on the weekend. Anyway. I'm gonna go to Cinema Squid. Oh, I gotta do my spiel for the beginning of all these videos. My name is Miguel Coronado. I'm an illustrator in Austin, Texas. Working freelance. I have work up on facebook.com/mciii. My website's www.mciii.net. My username on most websites is Mike086. Constructor.org, Crimson Daggers, Instagram, YouTube. If you don't catch these videos before they're deleted off live stream, then you'll catch them on YouTube because I'm putting them up there. And I'm going to do some composition breakdowns. I'm going to go to Cinema Squid, and pretty much this whole morning is going to be some more of these. I'm going to go to screenshots. I'm just going to scroll down. Oops. Oh. Scroll down and next. Yeah. Helix. Helix? Yeah, well anyway. I was up really late. I don't know, maybe this is like the same movie repeated. This must be the movie I have to do today. As far as composition goes. Only because there's so many repeated screenshots. Huh. Maybe not, because there's so many repeated screenshots. Maybe I just need to do a movie that's not repeated so much. Okay. I had to do some dishes. I woke up, so it made me run a little late, but whatever. It's not that big a deal. Tree of life. The tree of life. I recognize this movie still. This is a movie by Terrence Malick. I have not seen it, but I do know that it has some great composition. Real interesting composition. I'm just going to start with the first image and just work my way down this morning. Sky page. Haha, yeah. Skype. Oh, you want to Skype? We can Skype. Sky page. So, greetings, viewer. If you're watching this now, I'm going to be joined in the chat by a fellow illustrator. His name is Bobby Smith, 47. He's 47 years old. Lives alone in the woods. And draws with branches. I made him up. It's not true. I made that whole thing up. Contacts. I should kind of shrink this down so no one sees like all my intimate contact details. Bobby Smith. His name's not really Bobby Smith. His name is Riley Wade. Now I'm not going to call him. Not going to call him Helix on the Skype, because that's weird. I'm going to call him call a phone. Make a voice call. Add a number? How can I not add? Isn't it supposed to be Helix? Oh, it's pending. Anyway, I sent it to you. Riley Wade. I'm about to speak to Riley Wade. Oh my god, what is with this? Thank you, Skype, for updating me on everything that happened in the last week with everyone else in the world. Call. Oh, here we go. This is gonna work. Connecting Riley. Connecting. Connecting. Sorry, people, if you're waiting for me to like start something, but just get over it. Get over it. Hey, what's up? Okay. You muted the live stream. I have to figure out what I... Hello. Check 1, 2. You need to be turned on with... Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. You can barely hear me, and I need to figure out what I need to do. I'm going to turn on the speaker audio, so that way people can hear Riley. So people will be able to hear Riley. Riley. Okay, when Riley gets back on, we'll hear him talk for a little bit. I guess I could invite people to chat with me during these study groups more often, but I just haven't, so that's it. That's the only reason I had. Anyway, let's get on to a study. If you remember how I did this, or I'm sorry, if you forgot how I did this, let me like run you through everything again. First of all, I'm going to merge all the previous layers together. Oh, there goes Riley. Hello? Check 1, 2.
Hello?
Hello. Hello.
It's still it adjusts the speakers. I think it's on my end.
Check 1, 2. Talk. Say something, Riley. You hear it click. Riley's having issues.
Yeah.
Riley actually lives here in Austin, Texas.
There's
We
really
choose
bad
not to
lag
see
too.
each other as human beings. Oh yeah, no, it's delayed a bit. You gotta like mute live stream for sure. And you gotta mute live stream and then just not. Oh, there it goes. Anyway, Riley and I actually live in Austin, and we choose not to see each other in actual human being time because he's potentially a serial killer. Anyway, um, okay. Let's get started, people. Keep saying that, but I actually gotta do it. I'm gonna merge all the previous layers together because it's just causing a mess right now. I'm going to magic wand tool around the actual still, create a new layer. I gotta inverse that selection. I'm gonna fill it with white. Whoa, oops. I guess I need to re-inverse it. Okay, inverse the selection. Okay, there we go. Fill it with white. Deselect. I'm just going to move the still on top of the image. Now, the still and the image are the exact same size. And I need to double check the... Yeah, it looks like the movie stills have this small bar of black. And that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Only because it means that this top bar is just like nothing. Like this here. It's not an actual thing. So I need to go up to just gonna move that bar up a little bit and delete it one more times. Delete it, deselect. Okay, so now that I've adjusted this white square to fit the space in between the black bars, I'm just going to select it, click a new layer, and just click a mask. And so that mask, that layer is just for me to be able to not have to do this whole deleting thing again. Okay, anyway, we'll get started. On the white layer, I'm going to select it, hide the selection, and as fast as we can, we're going to go in and we're going to use only 3 colors. We're going to use black, white, and gray. And I used 100% opacity brush last time, but I feel like just for the sake of prettiness, I want to use this brush because I like the way it looks. So let's just go through and do this as quickly as I can. I'm going to first start with this big branch in the background, and then I'm going to kind of just paint in this gray here. Because that's essentially the shape it's making. The trees against the sky become like this gray tone, and then I think her name was Jessica Chastain or whatever. She is jumping off the background, right? And that's because of the that's cool, Riley. Riley's gonna sort things out later, but we can get on. If you sort it out later, we can talk later when I'm just working. Anyway, since she jumps off the background, I'm gonna go ahead and make her. First, I'm gonna put in the black tone because she's got a higher level of contrast than the background. But we do know that this part of her face is standing out against the background too, so we're going to take the white and then go in and just put in the white to kind of show that the white stands out against the background. Cheekbones. There we go. Yep, okay. So that's about as much time we want to take on it. Like, don't make this like a long session, but that's, yeah, so that's one layer. And I'm just going to deselect and just kind of move this down here somewhere. And I'm going to delete the frame from the movie, sorry, the still frame, and I'm going to select the next one. I'm not going to care about what it is, I'm just going to select it. Because if you start worrying about, like, if you look at this and go, it's just a girl with a goat, then you're going to skip down, you're going to keep skipping, and then you're going to end up, like, missing out on the stuff you need to do. Which is, you got to stop caring about what it is and just do it. Don't think about whether it's boring or not boring. Just make the image. That's all you have to worry about. So what you can do, whenever you have a layer mask, you can right click it or control click, and it gives you a small menu. It says disable layer mask, apply layer mask, delete layer mask, and it says add mask to selection. So if you click add mask to selection, it's going to give you that selection you had before, the same one we prepped earlier. So I'm going to click a new layer, and with that same selection clicked, I'm just going to fill it with this gray tone. The reason I'm filling it with a gray tone is it just from looking at the still already, it's mostly gray. And, that's just, it's not really that bright, value-wise, it's not that bright, so filling it with the gray tone is what I need to do. Okay, so now we're going to do it again. So this is a little different. So last time the background was gray and there were some bright spots of the sky, and like the bright spots of the sky were only kind of like, they were only playing against the bright spots in her face. In this case, the only lighter parts are the character herself, because she looks lighter than the background, right? So you just gotta really break it down. And also in the background, you see how there's like a strip of like dark area, like this whole band is darker. So I'm gonna select the black. I'm gonna start with like that tree. I'm just gonna go down here. It's about where it is. It doesn't need to be exact. It's not about being exact. It's not like a technical drawing. It's just about getting the general shape in. That's all that matters. And then here's another tree. And then like another tree. And then generally that's like what's going on, right? You could take some of the white and just like, if you want to, you can like come in here and like speckle it, just because that's what's going on in the background. And then I go back over here with the black, and I'm just gonna cause it to have like kind of a mid-tone. So right, so that's kind of how this is, right? You see it's dark, and it's a little darker back here, and up here is kind of the same tone. So then her in the center, she is like a white, because she pops off the background as a lighter value. Not that she's literally that bright, but like, in terms of breaking this up into three colors, she's going to be the lightest. And just the general shape, so I'm just kind of like, just kind of filling her in. And then just think about like the relationship of like where she is in the frame. Okay. And then this area is pretty dark, so I'm going to come in with the black and just kind of fill in this spot because it draws attention again, you know, with the darkness on her body, it kind of draws that attention. Anyway. Just a basic breakdown. That's about it, really. Like I said, don't worry about making it look pretty. Don't worry about, like, making the elbow look like an elbow. Like, we're done, so. The reason I put these two black lines in, my like reasoning behind it for you, is that there's some dark spots on her body created by the shadows. There's like a dark spot here, and like see how there's like a line here that's created with the shadow. So it's shadow, line, goat face. That's just like, it's just like a rhythm that's being created. It's kind of subtle, but it's enough of a rhythm against her body that it makes me kind of like look up the body to the goat's face, and you can see her face is like the palest thing against the background, so it draws your attention that way. For me it does, at least, so I gotta put that down there. Take this movie still, let's delete that, let's go on to the next one. So we'll be doing this for an hour, just breaking down these compositions into basic shapes. Let me reorganize this. Okay. This next frame, copy image. Alright. Paste. Is 9:30 a better time for people? If 9:30 is a better time, then I could switch this to 9:30 every morning. I feel like more people are able to join in at 9:30. Maybe it's because people are tired in the morning. But 8 o'clock kind of makes me get with my program, and like 8 o'clock is kind of early because I stay up pretty late. But, you know, just if it's easier for other people. No, I guess I don't care, actually. Part of me making it 8 o'clock is that I have to get up and focus earlier than I want to. I only say earlier just because, like, I normally stay up a little later than I should. But making the study at 8 o'clock, at 9 o'clock, makes me get up at 8 so I can, like, you know, kind of wake up and have breakfast or something. Alright, so here's the shape. So here's the composition. We got, little boy, little girl. There's a bunch of dark shapes going on, so I'm taking the black. I'm gonna hide the selection. And if you don't know how to do that, just Command H. So, I'm gonna eyeball this line here first because it's a good anchor point. Like if I create this square, it becomes a great anchor point for me, right? So it's about here. It's not like exactly there, but here's one line of the window. And then let's see, this is about here. Like I said again, it doesn't matter if it really is or not. That's not the important part. What is the important part? Here's something that's super important that you should pick up right away. Is that this little boy with the guitar is literally like a framed person. Actually, you know what? Sorry, I forgot I just need to turn this off. Let me turn this off. Check 1, 2. Okay. Okay. So little boy is like literally a framed person in a box. See how he's kind of breaking the box too, but like you sitting like that. He's got his guitar. And the guitar comes all the way out here. And all this stuff in the background is pretty dark. And this, his mom's gonna be more of a gray, because she's not the brightest and she's not the darkest. So the way I'm gonna break it down is that she becomes the midtone. She's here, lying down. Okay. That's some of the mom character. And the bed's going to kind of be a gray too. The bed has to be the gray because the mom doesn't really stand out against it the way the boy is standing out against the window. So I'm kind of I am kind of superficially going in, not super, what's the word for it? I'm making a decision that with the three colors I have, the mom must be a gray with the white, because like her face stands out because of the window light, but her actual like clothing, like in terms of value, is pretty close to the actual couch. So, and then it kind of gets pretty dark right here, right in the corner. See that? So just general loose shapes, like it doesn't exactly matter. And I'm going to take the gray from the guitar, because see how the guitar stands out against the boy? Like right here is black in the guitar. So I got to put in the guitar here. And then here we go. That's pretty much a good shape. And then his fingers have this rim light, which makes them pop off the guitar. The rim light, 2, 3, 4, makes the fingers pop off of the guitar. And likewise, like anyway. So we see how that works. Oops, whoa, I zoomed out way too much. Yeah, but we can be pretty zoomed out for this stuff. Like, we don't need to be so zoomed in, actually. Okay. It's good enough. It's good enough. It's alright, next frame. Look at this. This is like super easy, right? This one's like, when we talk about making basic shapes, this is like exactly what we're talking about. Literally just a spiral. It looks pretty dark, so I'm going to select the black first. Okay. select it, hide the selection. So let's take a look at how this spiral, because it's not just a spiral, right? It can't just be that easy. Because these blues at the beginning are darker, what we're going to do is we're going to have the spiral go from dark to light all the way to white. So starting at the edge, remember there's only 3 tones in this, so like we have to make decisions based upon the 3 tones. Gray to gray. And remember, there's not just a gray spiral. If it were just a gray spiral, it wouldn't be as interesting. Like, if it were just the blue all the way through with the same amount of glowy blue, it would look kind of cool, but like, it doesn't look as cool as the blue getting brighter and brighter, and as it gets brighter, it gets warmer. It transitions to this green, and then the green transitions to yellow, red. Okay, so it's kind of, I'm noticing, I heard word from C.J. Marsh that he's been doing his studies still. He's just been, if y'all are wondering what he's been doing, if you haven't seen him on the stream as often, he's taking the time to really do the studies on his own without live stream so he can focus. But he's still doing them. He's still posting in the forum. So be on the lookout for his stuff, because he's been doing lots of anatomy still, and like he's doing a really good job. Okay. There we go. Kind of gets consecutively, or like it gets like sequentially brighter as you go into the center. Great, awesome. That's a great little breakdown. That's all I needed. So, delete the still frame. If you find yourself trying to delete the frame and it's not working, it's because you forgot to press deselect. You gotta deselect the previous frame. Let's go back over. Let's get the next frame. Okay, and we keep going back to this layer mask we created as like a placeholder. This is another frame where, like, kind of looking at it, this woman's face stands out against the background, but her clothing is darker. So the background is going to be gray. To kind of simplify it, background's going to start off gray. Oops, wrong layer. Should have created a new layer. There you go. Just going to position it so it's a little easier to translate. I'm not trying to make it difficult for myself to like line up the feet. Like, I'm trying to just quickly throw in what I see. Because the gray is the background's majority gray. There's this big shape going on with the grass. That's like right here. Like the grass stands out. And then you kind of see a little bit of the sky in the background, and a little bit of the sky, and a little bit of the sky. And there's like a car. And then her face is going to be white. And then you see like her neck going to her chest, and then her arm, and then her other arm. And I'm going to take black, and this is going to be her shoulder, and her other shoulder, and there we go. There's a person. And then her hair. Her hair breaks the frame. And then Jessica Chastain's character. I think that's her name. Okay. So what I do notice is that the contrast on Jessica Chastain's character isn't as great as the contrast on this other character. So any of these features that are chiseled out are going to be chiseled out with a gray on black instead of white on black. Because white on black would infer a greater contrast, and we don't really have a greater contrast. Also notice how her head's like detached from her body. And then there's this door and like this window in the background, like another window. And there's like a darker strip in the background that's like the trees. That same strip goes back here. Okay, that's good. Something I'm seeing, like these shapes here. Let me zoom in. These shapes in the frame. One. Okay. Am I not in the right layer? Oh, here we go. Sorry. This shape, that shape, this tree, her face. It's another one of those things where we're creating a series of dark spots that visually create a line. We'll create a series of dark spots that visually creates this line. Oh my god. Right here, see that line that's been created. And it's created because it's, you know, a sequenced series of things makes people think of a line. So we've got a line that goes from Jessica Chastain's eyes to her eyes. This face to her face. And the mouth is about where the mouth is. So like, first it's eye to eye. The eye levels are the same. Secondly, it's this series of dark images kind of just connects the heads together. And I'm trying to see what else is going on in here. There's a this whole area here. This whole area is like brighter than the rest of the frame. So you've got this area of brightness in the grass that's connecting these two characters in this general region instead of like having it over here. If like the sunlight was hitting on the other side, you'd be kind of drawn away from this area. But this area is very important because it's a moment where these two characters are connecting. Right? Anyway. Just a quick what's going on there. Let's see, where am I? go to the next. Let's see. Excuse me, sorry if the mic keeps rubbing on things because I keep moving about. Or I actually keep getting caught in my jacket. This one's going to be majority white. Oops, wrong layer. Majority white. And okay. So the building is white. And that's the brightest area. It's the building. Because the windows outside look a little darker with those trees, right? There's like a difference between the white of the building and then like kind of, it's almost like it takes a step down outside. So we're going to take the gray. Just kind of generally block in. Okay, here we go. Here's the first window. This is my simplification of it too, so like if y'all disagree with some of this stuff, then it means we're different people. That's all. It just means we're different people. Actually, I need to get the shapes better. The shape is kind of off. Okay. Hello. Morning. Do you want some tea? Okay. Gotta make some tea. There we go. Okay. Mhm. I put it on there.
dancing like a feather. It's still frying. Now it's got you blind, got you dancing like a feather. Like weather. Don't fool yourself, girl. You can never be together. Don't fool yourself, girl. You can never be together.
That's just yawning. Sorry. Yeah, I went to make some tea. Also because I was talking with my girlfriend who just woke up, so I just don't want to broadcast everything online. Some privacy. But anyway. Okay. Yeah, so back. Where was I? In the middle of working on this. Okay. So this has got a lot going on in terms of composition and like framing. We've got these windows that are blocking out space, and then we've got these the windows that are blocking out space, and then we've got the perspective of the windows all converging onto the center figure, the area of focus. It's pretty cool how that works out. But anyway, see, essentially, I'm not going to put in like, see how this reflection is a mirrored image of him. I'm not going to need to put any of that in. Because I feel like because he's being so introspective, it means something to have the character looking into his own reflection on the table. But that's a little more, it's a little too deep into it. I just want to focus on the shapes. But what you'll notice is that everything converges onto him. Right? And that the eye level isn't the same. The eye level is different from the other frame. So, story-wise, you can infer that maybe they don't see eye to eye, perhaps. Where did I put that layer? Is that it? Oh, here we go. Just delete that. You can actually last pause. Oh, what's the intention for it? The intention for it is to basically making yourself identify. Ooh, crap. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Just in the wrong layer. You're identifying the big shapes, and by identifying the big shapes, you're learning what other people did for composition. And by doing a movie still, we're kind of learning how composition is used in a storytelling focused medium, and illustration specifically. Illustration over concept art is like supposed to be kind of telling a story within one single image. And so a movie has 30 single images to each second. So there's a ton of storytelling related compositions in a movie. And we break them down into the big shapes, because later on we need to, ideally what you do is you can look back at the sheet that you made and say, I like this interesting composition that I blocked out. I could steal that composition and use it in my illustration, and it's, completely legitimate. to be able to do that, you know? Because it's just a bunch of shapes. You know, it's a shape language. Carlton has another exercise that goes a step further, where like you go back in here and you rearrange the shapes that you see, reposition them. But it's part of this thumbnailing thing. Like people always talk about they have their thumbnail before they started drawing. It's that same kind of deal. It's all about, if you like this, like doing it this way, there's no excuse to not have an idea about what you're gonna thumbnail, because it's already in front of you. We could just go through and do abstract thumbnails, which is like legitimate too. It's completely fine to do that, but this way people have no excuse to be like, well, I don't really know what to do. They all look the same. You know, they have all those like whiny excuses. I like this one a lot. This is a pretty cool composition, because it's like, it's another example where all the lines in the entire image are converging on the main character. And it seems really powerful. The perceived power is coming from the fact that everything visually is pointing to him, including his arms. Why 3 values? Just to keep it simple, like to focus on shapes and not subject matter itself. You just focus on like just straight up, like don't care. It doesn't matter if it's a person or not a person. All that matters is that it's a shape, and like the interesting shapes that are created. Some of them it's like, some of them it's hard to just not be like that's clearly just a person's face. But like some of these like 1-minute studies, like you could make this anything and it could still be interesting composition. This one right here that I have my cursor over. Let me open up a new window of it. Oops, I gotta go for the T. This here, I'm gonna talk about that when I get back. Okay. So I said I was going to talk about this. This is a screenshot from the movie Prometheus. It's a person. There's a person inside a little tube, and they're asleep. You know, because like in Prometheus, they all have those cryo tubes. And right here is a person that's like checking their pulse, right? Well, just from this like little breakdown, we could translate this still, like this particular one could easily become a giant statue in a temple. You know, like the composition lends itself to being that. It doesn't have to be a person lying down. So you could go and go, this is a really interesting composition. I want to use this as a giant statue in a temple. Like some of these other ones. Another one from Prometheus. So this one's like, it could be anything, right? It could be an eyeball. If you wanted like an eyeball of a dragon and like a sword. Or it could be like I'm trying to think what else it could be. It could be like a car here about to hit a person. Like it's any number of things, right? Because like it's just shapes. In reality, it's a pool table. And then there's a guy here. And then there's these doors behind him. These are like sci-fi doors. But within this composition, there's these arrows that are like this. The arrows are only there because it's a door, but because the character is here, it's the character with arrows, and the pool table's cue is pointing to him, and then all the lines are going next to him, and then these lines, they aren't necessarily going next to him, but they're framing him. So they're just everything, like there's multiple things drawing your attention to him. And that's something you can do with your own work. It's like don't just put lines pointing to somebody, but also frame them, and then add little elements that kind of continue the focus. And this one right now has a bunch of elements. Where's my... Not in my layer. Shouldn't be. Don't know why I'm not being able to see that. Layer 100. It's not selecting it. Oh, I'm in the mask mode. Mask mode. There we go. That's what I wanted to. Okay, back to where it was going. Anyway, it's just one way of doing it. It's just like you start making yourself see the big shapes, and you basically just like archiving ideas. You're archiving ideas for the moment. You gotta go do your own thing, and then it's like, oh, I've already made myself draw like hundreds of these, so I'm not gonna have any issues with composition. I can focus on my anatomy, or like I can focus on getting the perspective right, because I know the composition is going to be good. You know, it's just a way to practice it. The other way to practice it is like, I haven't done this yet, but like taking three shapes, like a circle, a triangle, and a rectangle, or like a circle, a triangle, and like an oval. Doesn't matter what they are. But you just take three shapes, and then you pretty much make yourself rearrange them in a frame over and over again, and find the most interesting compositions out of them. And that's something that like we'll do that at some point, but like that's gonna end up making you really think about like, okay, how can I make this not boring for myself? Because I'm just taking the same three shapes over and over and over again. Anyway, I kind of want to indicate that there's a bunch of lines going on behind him, because I feel like that's important. So I'm going to do that by just throwing in the gray lines. But kind of think of, like, look at how, like, this is almost like a modern art piece, like as far as like a painting goes. You've got very steady lines that are all going towards him, but then the area around his head, you've got this mess of lines, right? There's like too many lines. There's some like going this way, and there's some going like this, some going further up, and then there's some going like here. So what can we do? He looks concerned, like in the actual movie. He looks like he's got something on his mind. So you can take this and think of it like a visual representation. This man is troubled. This man's troubled because everything is throwing focus to him, and then the area right around his head is just like a chaos of lines. And it's just like one of those, like, if this were like if this were like a still photography, if this were a still photograph image in a gallery, in a fine art gallery, that's how you would kind of pick it apart and tell the story of the image. You'd be like, it's about men and the frustration of men in the modern world, or something, you know, because, like, you know, visually there's turmoil around him. He's thinking about something, right? He's clearly not, he's not having fun thinking about it, and there's just these chaotic lines everywhere. You know, it's like these focus structures clashing with each other. Anyway, that's how you kind of be able to break it down. Do another one, and then we'll call it done for today, because I think it'll reach an hour mark. And I want to eat breakfast. Alright. Let's see. Actually, we already hit the hour mark, but I did take a quick break to go make tea. But we'll do one more. Oh, looks wonderful. This is great. So there's something going on in here. Like, I think everyone hears this at some point. But I think, first of all, I think you need to copy and paste. So you got to copy the image first, come back here, and paste. There we go. So, okay, I know that this frame looks very much gray and black. That's really like it, right? But because the ground looks darker than the sky, and the trees are darker than the ground, I'm going to make the sky white. That's my reasoning for that, just so everyone knows. Because the sky is lighter than the ground. And the ground is darker than the sky. So, yeah, that's it. So let's go in. This would be the ground plane. Oops, too far. There's the ground plane, and just above it, there's like the horizon right here. Okay, there we go. And then we have the figure in the middle that is got her arms out. She's like right here. Oh, actually, I forgot to do this. We have to move it so that it's lined up perfectly. That way I can make these judgment calls. So, like, if I go straight up, she's like right here. Figure's right here. She's got her arm outstretched. Right? And then, right here, right on the horizon is a little boy. Hey Martin, what's up? I'm actually about to get offline, but I gotta finish up this breakdown, and then I'm gonna go eat breakfast. I'll get back online afterwards, actually, and draw, but I'm gonna eat breakfast first. It's good I haven't eaten yet. So, let me, actually gotta go back and kind of darken this a bit. Okay. Put this back on here. Okay. So, here's one thing. So first of all, they're both in the horizon. Little boy, woman, and then right about here to here is like the trees house. And side, what is that, the grass. Excuse me real quick. Okay, so another thing. So we noticed like the tree lines on the horizon are typically darker than like the ground itself. So this boy is surrounded by these big trees, and then the other side of the road's like right about here. Okay. And we got like, this shapes here, right? This house is about as bright as the sky itself. And now we're going to put in the trees. Trees go up. And, okay, so this is something you hear about all the time in art, and I think lots of people don't realize what it is. But how many of you have ever, like, if you've either been to art school, or like you hear about, you study art in like high school, and they tell you like there's like those principles of design and principles of art, but one of the principles of like design, I think it's the principles of design and the fundamentals of art, or like the elements of art, whatever. One of them is always rhythm, right? And that's like the one that the teachers never can explain. Everyone's like, yeah, rhythm, and that's like when you have a pattern. And that's kind of all they say, is all they really talk about. But in this case, we have, think of this like music. We have a musical theme going on. And the musical theme is the Y shape. The Y shape is the theme of this. And then like, it's literally like echoed throughout the whole thing. So it's this woman here in the middle of the road, walking, or standing. It looks like she's walking actually, but it's having that woman there, standing with her arms out, and then just framed by these trees that just repeatedly create the same motion. And then everything meets at the horizon where the little boy is, and like it probably means something really deep because it's a Terrence Malick film. But anyway, so whenever you hear people talk about rhythm and art, like visual art, like there's a rhythm. It's one of the rhythms that they talk about, like repeating motifs. So like Y, the Y shape. When I say the Y, I mean like the letter Y. That shape. That's the Y shape. Anyway, so it's like repeating Y shapes. Y, English letter Y, I guess, if you don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah, that's kind of what people mean when they say there's a visual rhythm or a visual echo. It's like the same, you're basically like using the same language. Like if this was a recipe, we'd have different, we'd have similar things that complement each other. So we'd have like citrus sprinkled in this recipe that accents this like fish. Anyway, a little too, it's just drawing. It's just, that's the rhythm. Anyway, that's it. I'm calling it done for today because I'm gonna eat breakfast and I gotta get to work on stuff. But I'll live stream it, so I don't have a specific time I'm gonna get online, but I do know that I will get online. I will get online and work on finishing this poster, which I didn't get to finish this weekend. I'll open it up and show everyone. I got some other stuff I need to do that I can work on online. Figure. Oh yeah, what time is that? I might go. We just gotta work on this other stuff, that's all. I'm gonna work on this poster thing. Actually gotta work on a t-shirt design, and then something for a friend. Oof, okay. Anyway, but I'll be live streaming all the work, so. Thanks, Martin. Yeah, if you just go to that live stream app, you'll see when I'm online. Anyway, 7 to 10. I'll message you back, Riley. Yeah, do that. Thank you for joining me. You can find my work online, www.mciii.net, facebook.com/mciii. I'm on Instagram, Crimson Daggers Forum, Content Art Forum, and YouTube as Mike086. If I'm not online on a website, it's Mike086. My username is usually MCIII, or just my name, Miguel Coronado III. But glad you could join me. I'm glad you're here to study, and I'm gonna eat breakfast and get to work. So I'll be online as soon as I'm done. Have a good morning.